it's finally time to talk about the Golden Age arc in its totality. What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here. We are back with another manga review. And this manga review, obviously from the title you can see, is over Berserk's Golden Age arc. Now this arc, honestly, I gotta say, it changed my ways on reading seinen. Like, this is the arc right here that would make me read more seinens if they were like this. But I gotta remember, Berserk is at a really high standard, so I can't really expect a lot of other seinens to be like that. But I gotta say that the Golden Age arc, it's one of the best arcs, if not the best arc that I've ever read in manga. Now, I do want to preface this video by saying that this is going to be a non-spoiler video right here. If you guys do want a spoiler talk on the whole Golden Age arc, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section down below. But for video purposes, I'm gonna keep this bad boy as a non-spoiler video. That way everybody can have a chance to watch it and everybody won't be spoiled. And it probably might get more people to actually read Berserk, because I think that everybody deserves to read Berserk. And first of all, before we really get into the video, you know I gotta say RIP to Kentaro Miura, because he has created such a great work, such a legacy, such a great mangaka, and probably such a great person. So I do want to say that. I do want to get my little sentiments out there about that. But I gotta praise him. And if you've been seeing my Berserk Deluxe Edition reviews, you will know that I praise this man every chance that I get, because oh my gosh, Berserk is so amazing. And I'm saying this mostly off of the Golden Age arc, so that really has to say something. Now, if you guys have not watched my monthly reading for June 2021, I did say that I'm going to be revising the Berserk reviews a bit, because each of the Berserk reviews before this video, I actually was reviewing the deluxe editions. So from going here on out, I will just be reviewing the arcs as a whole instead of just going by each deluxe edition one by one, because honestly, the deluxe edition that I have to get next is 8, and that's not coming out till August. So honestly, I really won't probably be done with the Conviction arc until probably around that time anyways. But needless to say, I gotta tell you guys what the Golden Age arc is about. And basically, it's the backstory of the main character, Guts. Now, we get a bit of Guts' character within the Black Swordsman arc, but that arc mostly leads you to wondering, why is this character like this? What is his motivations? And what is his, like, dealing with the character of Femto, which we actually get way more explanation, way more backstory within that in the Golden Age arc. So I gotta say this right here, guys. If you read that arc, you will kind of know how the ending goes, because we know how the character Guts feels about Femto. But man, when it actually happens at the end, you see it coming, right? You know what to expect. It's just so heartbreaking. I can't even put it into words. Like, I almost cried. Like, literally after I read the last volume of the Golden Age arc, I literally had to take a nap, because it was a lot to take in. And most of it didn't even have words in the manga. It was actually just imagery that really scarred you, that messed you up, and just made you really depressed. But before we get into the video, before I tell you about the Golden Age arc and my thoughts about it, I gotta say shout out to my Patreon pledgers for going ahead and financially supporting the channel. I gotta say I highly appreciate what you guys are doing for me, financially donating on Patreon. You guys deserve the biggest Dark Sage hug that I can give you. Secondly, I gotta give a shout out to Broke Boy Gang, because if you are buying the deluxe editions just like I am, you are definitely going broke pretty quickly. But if you're not a part of Broke Boy Gang and you want to be, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, post notification bell. I need everybody to go ahead and like the video and share the content. That way it can help me grow within the YouTube algorithm. And lastly, if you want to follow me on all my other social media platforms, all my links will be in the description down below. So let's get into it. Now guys, the Golden Age arc, I'm not sure if it's one of the longest arcs in Berserk, but this arc did feel pretty long, but I felt like it was really needed, especially to flesh out a character of Guts that we first are introduced to in the Black Swordsman arc. And you get about 3 single volumes of that, so a whole deluxe volume of like this character of Guts, but you don't know anything about him, which is kind of, I feel, kind of inspired from Fist of the North Star, because just like Kentaro, you are introduced to this super strong character, but you know nothing about him, which leaves you to question what has happened in his past and how is he like this. And so while you're actually reading the Black Swordsman arc, which I already reviewed on the channel, if you want to check that video out, link will be in the description down below, it leaves you to wondering, why does Guts have this enemyship with the character of Femto? And obviously, when you go into the Golden Age arc, oh, it's a lot. Now, basically, the Golden Age arc is basically to show you Guts' upbringing, from Guts when he was born to where he is at now within the Black Swordsman arc, which is right after the Golden Age arc. But after the Golden Age arc, you actually end up 2 years after the Golden Age arc, which will be the Conviction arc. So it sounds confusing, but basically, I believe the chronological order is the Golden Age arc, the Black Swordsman arc, and then the Conviction arc. If I'm wrong about that, just please let me know in the comment section down below, because it is a little bit confusing going off the top of my head right now. But honestly, I gotta say that that Golden Age arc, like I was saying earlier, probably one of the best arcs that I have ever read within manga. And I gotta say that one of the things that really won me over within this arc was the character writing. Now, Kentaro Miura has a way of developing these characters and making you hate these characters, or making you not really know anything about these characters, or kind of letting you know like, oh, the outcome is already this, especially when you see what happens in the Black Swordsman arc, but you still feel for that enemy character while along the way of the Golden Age arc. And the character I'm talking about, namely, is Griffith. And we obviously know that because in the Black Swordsman arc, Guts literally calls to Femto and calls him Griffith. Now, when you actually see that happen in the Black Swordsman arc, you have a lot of questions. So, when you're actually reading the Golden Age arc, you realize Griffith is the bad guy, but the story that we go through with the Band of the Hawks, Guts joining the Bands of the Hawks, the demise of the Band of the Hawks, and honestly, everything bad that just happens within Guts' life to create him as a savage that he is in the Black Swordsman arc. Like, I'm trying to find a good way to say this, right? I completely get where Griffith is coming from. And I gotta say that Kentaro Miura probably written one of the best villains I've ever read in manga history, because you get the motives, you get why he does what he does, and honestly, when the moment happens, it's very tragic. But you get it. If you're human, you get this. Everyone seeks power, and throughout this whole arc, it is known that Griffith seeks nothing but power, but obviously a lot of the times, Guts is the person that actually clouds a lot of his judgment, which Casca, Griffith's left-hand woman, because Guts is Griffith's right-hand man, she calls Guts out about Griffith's mistakes, even though it's not really Guts' fault. Like, Guts and Griffith already have this rivalry happening between them, even though Griffith is the head and Guts is like one of the leaders of the actual militias in the actual Band of the Hawks. But while we're talking about the character of Casca, I gotta say that when I initially met her, she was obviously annoying. I obviously hated her, but this arc got me to loving her. And honestly, the things that all of the Band of the Hawk members go through, especially with some of the side characters I really like Judea, Rickert, Pippin, and I'm gonna name another one, but I really don't like him, and it's Corcus. I really hate Corcus. I despise Corcus. But the way that Kentaro Miura actually makes some of these characters relevant, especially with the development of Guts, because there is a lot of character development. And honestly, from the first arc that we get in Berserk, I didn't think a character like Guts would have such depth. But the way that Kentaro Miura actually layers Guts, to where Guts wants to find the meaning of life, to where he wants to find his true purpose in life, and to where he really sees what Griffith finds within the best friend, or what Griffith sees as an equal. I really do like those moments within Berserk, because those really just exemplify some really strong character writing right there. And it just comes to show how thoughtful some of these characters can be, especially with some of the dialogue heavy scenes, which Berserk is one of those things where I thought it was going to be super dialogue heavy, but it really isn't. The dialogue is really engaging, and I gotta say that it's really intriguing, and I was interested every time one of these characters was talking, especially Griffith when it was to someone else outside the Band of the Hawks, or to Guts when he was talking to someone else like Judea or Rickert within the Band of the Hawks. And needless to say, since we did touch on the characters, I do want to talk a bit about the story, and I feel like there's 4 parts of the story. Guts' upbringing before he joins the Band of the Hawks, Guts while he joins the Band of the Hawks and while the Band of the Hawks are on the rise, the part where Griffith is actually held captive and he is in danger, and the eclipse, which I will not spoil within this video, but just know when the eclipse happens, stuff goes down. And honestly, that right there, I can't touch on it without spoiling it. So honestly, I'm gonna have to stop the video right here. And honestly, I just have to say, Golden Age Arc, like I said, probably one of the best arcs, if not the best arc, that I've ever read within my manga reading history. And honestly, I gotta give a big thank you to Kentaro Miura. And I gotta give a big thank you to my boy too, because he was really putting me on the Berserk, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try out for my boy. And honestly, he put me on to some greatness. I'm not even gonna cap. He did put me on to some greatness. But guys, now that the review is over, let me know down in the description down below if you have read Berserk, if you are going to read Berserk, or what your thoughts on Berserk, if you have heard of it just in general. Let me know in the comment section down below. I gotta say thank you guys for watching. If you are new to the channel and you have not already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, post notification bell. Like I say, thank you guys for watching. Dark Sage out. Peace.